Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Event Spotlight. This is your host, Onyx Moon, for tonight, and I have got something special for you. I am so excited that I get to do this interview, you have no idea. Um, I'm here tonight with David Banach, and if you don't know who he is, you will when I'm done. Um, he is the guru genius behind Caldera Fest. I'm sorry, I can't even talk today. I'm so excited for Caldera Fest. And he has put this together with like 30 musicians, 100 vendors, and a myriad of events and workshops. And I don't know how the man did it, but he's amazing. He's a husband and a father, so he's very busy to begin with, but he's been active in the pagan community for many, many years. And from what I read, and now he'll tell me, in 2010 he began the Magic Jukebox podcast and then has been promoting pagan music ever since. So I would like to welcome David to the show. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you.
Well, thank you, Onyx. I'm glad to be here.
Is this festival, this event is just absolutely amazing. I don't think there's ever been anything like it, especially for the pagan community. It is just phenomenal. And this is the first one of its kind, am I correct?
Yes, this is our first one. It's pretty ambitious for a first event, but I think we're going to be just fine.
It sounds like it. Everything looks amazing. I've been on the site looking at everything that's coming up, and I'm so excited that I actually get to come to this. There's nothing like this festival anywhere else. The talented musicians, the list of them, I mean, it's epic. It's like, the top shelf. You are like the superhero of pagan music right now. You know that.
Well, I don't know about that, but it started. The whole thing started just because I'm a fan, and I always thought it would be cool to have or to go to a festival that had all these bands, and nobody else was doing it, so I figured I might as well step up and do it.
And that's an amazing dream, and it seems like you've pulled this off in such an epic way that I bet it surprised even you.
Yeah, it sure did. It sure didn't start out this way. The original plan was just going to be, a simple weekend with maybe 5 acts, and that's how it was going to start. And pretty soon word got out, and it kept growing and growing and growing, and well, here we are now. I finally had to tell everybody no.
That's enough. Don't have any more room, right?
Exactly.
That's wonderful. But I just can't imagine how much work goes into this event. What were your biggest challenges? What is doing that?
Probably the biggest challenges, well, with any endeavor like this is communication. Not all. I'll send out information or requests for information, and I don't always get it in a timely manner, and then I have to get a little nasty, but that's okay. It's all part of the job. But yeah, communication is probably being the biggest hurdle. Planning and planning and all that. That's the easy part. That's the fun part. That's the part where you get to dream and say, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this, or wouldn't it be cool if we did that?" And but to be honest, I mean, a lot of people might think that getting all these acts together was the hard part. It certainly wasn't. Once word got out of what I was trying to achieve, it sure didn't take long for bands to just literally come out of the woodwork. I've been a fan of pagan music, and I don't want to use pagan as a genre because it really isn't, but pagan themed and performed music since I want to say 2007, 2008, and that's when I first started, experiencing it. And so I'm fairly familiar with bands, and there were bands that came out of the woodwork that I had never heard of before, and boy, am I glad I've heard of them now.
Yes, yes. I mean, the list is phenomenal. I can't imagine having all those many big name people at one time. S.J. Tucker, Damn the Bard, Mama Gina, Tuas D, Wendy Rule, Becca Kelso, Spiral Rhythm, Witch's Mark, Hecta's Wheel. I mean, it's just amazing. And so many more that I can't even think of to say right now. I'm just so blown away with how many people that you've got come together in community.
Yeah, it's and that's community is a great word because the overall promotion and enthusiasm for this festival just simply wouldn't be possible without the community. I've had help from help and support from all kinds of people from that do pagan radio stations like this, that do other podcasts, that are bloggers, and that are just enthusiastic people with lots of friends on Facebook. They've just been promoting it to the four winds, and that's been because they're excited about it too. They're really looking forward to it, and even people that unfortunately are not able to attend are really excited about this because they know that if this one is successful and does well, that there is a definite possibility that there could be more in the future.
And I'm so glad you said that because I really wanted to ask, are we going to do this again? Because I just can imagine how much fun the more that people get to know each other and the people that go to the festivals and work with. I can just see so many positive things coming for the pagan community and the artists and really giving them more of a voice by doing community things like this. It's phenomenal on so many levels. It's not just about the music. And that's phenomenal in itself, but I just see it as being so much more to bring people together. So kudos. I'm just, like I said, I'm like your biggest fan right now because it's just wonderful.
Well, the long term dream, and I've shared this before, and I'll share it again. The long term dream is to keep doing Caldera Fest, and not necessarily in the same place. And we don't know how that's going to work logistically yet, but there may be a time when I can take Caldera Fest on the road and be able to take it to different places and put on this event in different parts of the country. And that's a very long term goal, and it all depends on how successful the first one is, and how much support I get from the community. But if that's something that is possible for the future, I would love to see that because that would just be really amazing. But for right now, especially with what are we at, 24 days?
Yes.
23 days, 15 hours, and 2 minutes.
I love that countdown clock on the page.
um,
That's wonderful.
yeah, with that little time, I'm not really that focused on 2017 just yet. I want to get through 2016 first.
Absolutely, and that's completely understandable. I know that I'm the local Pagan Pride Day coordinator, and I know with just a small, I mean, a tiny little event like that for me, because where we are, it is a very tiny event. I'm hoping to grow that, but I know how much, how hard it is getting the volunteers and all the people together and assigning, you're doing this, you're doing that. I mean, that part, on a scale as big as what you're doing has got to be phenomenal. Um,
Well, yeah, it is, but the secret to it was making sure that I had a good group of people that I'm working with, and I've known everybody that I'm working with. On this project, my administration team, I've known them for a lot of years, and I've worked with them on different projects before, and I know that they have what it takes to um, to get everything done. So I trust that they know their job and they'll be able to take care of the volunteers and the areas that they're in charge of, and that's going to hopefully make everything run a lot smoother. So I'm not having to run around all the time and put out fires. I know that I can trust my team to make sure that all those things get taken care of without me.
and that's a very important factor in doing a show of this epic proportions. Um, so, what was the fun part of getting this together, as far as like getting a hold of all these artists and you know?
I think the most fun part of, especially with getting the artists together, is their unbelievable enthusiasm. Everybody that I've talked to about this has just been so excited about the concept of it, and um, you know, I I'm not trying to single anybody out, but I have to give a little shout out there to Danny Mulligan from Tuathadea and the whole crew at TD, because they have just been so gung ho behind this project. And it was Danny who put together the group of musicians for the Green album, and it was his idea to be able to launch the Green album at Caldera Fest. And so he's just so behind this project, and that's just an example of how amazing everybody has been and how excited everybody is for this project to make sure that it's as successful as it can be.
Absolutely. So the rumor is true that they are going to officially launch that at this festival, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah. You will not be able to get a copy of the Green album prior to May 26th. May 26th, it goes on sale, and May 26th it goes on sale at Caldera Fest, and that's the first and only place that you can get the Green album.
And I hear there's like 13 different other groups that went in with this on him. Excuse me, I can't even speak. That went in on this album with them. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. The Green album is, you're right, I think it's 14 artists.
Okay.
Total. And there's only a couple of them that are not going to be at Caldera Fest. Kellyanna had prior plans, so she could not attend Caldera Fest. She's going to be spending the summer, part of the summer in Canada, and the rest of it's overseas, so she's quite busy. And Spiral Dance is the other group that is not able to attend. It's, being that they're from Australia and all, it is a little bit of a trek.
That is a trek for sure. I do have a question in chat, and somebody's saying, will the artist attending be willing to autograph, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I made sure to buy about 200 or so Sharpies just to make sure they have no excuses.
Wonderful. Yeah, I tell you, I know we're all going to act like children groupies because I know, I know you're a fan, and I know I'm a fan of a lot of these, and it's just, I'm going to feel like, like the teenager at a Beatles concert, just because it's just amazing to be able to get all these people all at the same time. So that's wonderful. I'll have my Sharpie ready, believe me. So, and the fact that you said, you did this because you're a fan. So I'm going to say, what's on your playlist right now? What do you listen to when you're not doing this, or do you get a chance?
Well, I'm part of my job is that I drive. I drive a lot for my job, so I get a chance to listen to a lot of things. Honestly, I just finished a book, an audio book that I just finished today. But let's see. Mostly, I've been listening to a lot of the Caldera Fest artists. There's a couple of new albums, or at least new to me, albums that I've been listening to. Let's see. There's a pagan artist by the name of David Wood. I just discovered his stuff not too long ago, and so I've been listening to a little bit of his stuff. And there's a brand new album by James J. Turner. I just got that in the mail day before yesterday, I think, and it's a really good album. I'm really impressed with it. Boy, what else is on my playlist? Of course, I don't listen to just pagan music. I listen to other stuff too, and well, I know it's. People have been calling this and I know you said you weren't going to say.
I wasn't going to try it. Go ahead.
people have called this the pagan Woodstock, and I won't deny that I have taken some of my inspiration from that. It's that 1969 event. There were no others, believe me. They were just figments of your imagination.
Yep.
But, the 1969 one, I have spent a lot of time listening to the artists and especially the performances at that event. And I kind of get some inspiration from that and some motivation. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's where it comes from.
No, it doesn't sound cheesy at all. It kind of gets you in the right frame of mind for the kind of event. I totally get that. Music is such an important part of a spiritual path, and regardless as to what you listen to. I mean, I know for me that it is, mood altering, mind altering, so having a broad base of music is wonderful. I think it's a really important part of, it's an important part of my life anyway. So, um, okay, so I'm like dying to know. I'm hearing that. How do I put this? I know that there's specials on the website
Oh yeah.
for the tickets. I think I'm sorry. I think it's phenomenal. The price already is beyond ridiculously low in my opinion. And I think it's amazing what you're offering. So I wanted to give you a chance to tell our listeners about, let's get some tickets out there because people, you got to come to this. It's a once in a lifetime thing at this point, and you got to be there.
Yeah, okay. Well, the specials that we're currently running, we decided that we had some people that were requesting some group discounts and things like that, and with this being our first event, we are really wanting to pay a lot of attention to what the people are saying to us.
Right.
So we listened and we came up with some party packs, we're calling them. And so if you log onto the website, you can click on a party pack, and we have 3 of them available. You can the simple one is to buy 2 and you get 1 ticket for free. Nothing fancy about that. That one's cool. But then there's buy 5, you can get 3 tickets for free. And if you get together with all your friends and all your family and you decide you want to come, if you buy a 10 pack of tickets, you can get 5 tickets for free. 10, get 5 for free. So hey, that's the best way in the world to come right there. Load up with all your friends, everybody pitch in together, and you can save some pretty serious money and come to a great festival.
And that is amazing. And it includes the camping, you said.
Yeah, we decided not to charge any extra for camping. There's no extra charges for RV camping. It is dry RV camping, though. There are no water or sewer hookups and no electric hookups. And spaces there are a little bit limited, so you kind of have a first come first serve basis there. But it's a beautiful piece of property. It's a little more than 200 acres, and so there's tons of places to camp. We just decided that there was no reason to charge extra for the camping.
And that's wonderful because hardly anybody does that. It's like, I've seen events where the ticket prices are about comparable, but then by the time you get done adding all the add-ons for this, that, and the other thing, they become astronomical. So, I mean, I'm telling you, Fed, this is a value. I mean, it really is if you imagine 1 ticket to some of these people, this doesn't even cover that. I mean, to go to other venues. So I'm totally amazed. And part of that I wanted to ask, Cherokee Farm, it looks amazing. How did you get that venue, or how did you select that for this?
Well, we had a previous location, but as fast as the festival grew, we very quickly outgrew that festival. It was about a year ago that we went and visited the other location, and we knew a year ago that it wasn't going to be big enough. And so we were at an event at the other location, and one of the people that was at the event, she told us that we needed to check out Cherokee Farms. And so we did some research and we contacted the owner of the property. His name's Smokey. He's a really nice guy. He's just this kind of old laid-back farmer hippie guy.
I love it.
He's good grief, that was loud. He's in his mid-70s, I would think. And he's just a super nice guy. And we contacted him, and he had more than a reasonable plan for us. And the property is just beautiful, and low rolling hills. The area where we're going to have the stage is at a slight decline, so the stage is going to be at the bottom of a slight hill, and it's just barely there. And so everybody that's sitting, up in the grassy area where, hopefully everybody will be able to see the stage, and shouldn't have any problem with that. And there's just lots of woods, places to camp. Um, we got a huge main area where the food vendors and where the workshops and where all the rest of the vendors are going to be. It's just a beautiful piece of property and easy roads to travel on. It's going to be great.
It looks amazing, and part of what we do this for is to get out in nature some, and it looks like the most amazing place to be. I'm a Florida girl, so we don't have hills and we don't have that. So I'm just going to be so excited, just the property itself. So it sounds like a beautiful place to do this, and I'm glad that Smokey was able to do that.
Yeah, we look forward to, if we decide to continue on, we'll probably do another event there. We'll have to see, but it is such a great piece of property, and he has some good amenities there, built in already. So it's pretty beneficial to use a place that you're already familiar and comfortable with.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And if it's beautiful as it seems that it's going to be amazing just for that in itself. Um, so vendors, you mentioned vendors, and from what I'm seeing, you've got almost 100 vendors.
Yeah, pretty close. Last time I checked the vendor count, we were at 63.
Okay.
So not quite hitting that 100 mark, but you know, the the vendors that we have picked have been handpicked by a couple of my team members, and they we did not we're just wanting to pick the best.
Right.
So the vendors that you're going to be able to see there are just phenomenal. I know there's a guy or two or three of them that are selling flutes and all kinds of jewelry and all kinds of this and that. There's even one guy that I know that is a blacksmith, and he's going to be bringing his own forge, so he'll be able to make custom pieces on the spot.
Wow.
All kinds of stuff. It's going to be just, the vendor list is amazing. I'm so blown away by it.
Yeah, I've looked at some of it on the Pagan Music Festival website, and every page that I get onto, I'm just wowed over. So it looks like the vendors, it'll be vendor in a show even there, with the kind of talented vendors. And I loved the way when I was reading about it that they were, you're not going to have 20 people all selling the same thing, and so they're keeping it in a diverse ability. So there's going to be a lot of good shopping for people to come.
Right, exactly. That's what we were trying to achieve by not having, by handpicking the vendors and making sure that we had good quality vendors with great products that would appeal to a lot of people.
And that's amazing. Just to be able to go through and do that and be selective, that's really great. So I know that we were talking about the volunteers. Do you still need volunteers? Because I noticed that on the website. I didn't know if you were still in need.
I think as of right now, our volunteers are officially closed.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want.
Yeah, we had we've had a lot of them that we've had to add, and as the event has grown, we've had to add a few more here and there, but we finally have hit our list, which is good news.
And that is good. I just wanted to make sure if you needed any help, that we put that out there. But if we're good to go on that. So all together, we've got lots of vendors, we've got lots of musicians. I saw some amazing workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about those. I mean, how does that happen?
Well, the workshops, what I actually stuck with my original plan on this. Nothing changed. For one, the idea was to have all of the workshops be run by the talent themselves, and I only had a certain number of workshops slots open because I didn't want any of them running past a certain time of the day, and I didn't want them starting too early in the day, so people could have time to get their breakfast and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I only had a certain number of slots, and the workshops filled up really quickly, and there are some fabulous workshops. A couple of them I really wish I could go to. Um, I'm trying to learn how to play a musical instrument or two myself, and one of them is the didgeridoo, and to be able to get didgeridoo instructions from Jeremy Lembo from Digis Christ Super Drum would be amazing, because he's one of the best didge players out there. And so, that's an opportunity that I really wouldn't want to pass up. But his just looks amazing, and there's some singing workshops. Most of the workshops are very music oriented.
Okay.
And I think that's amazing to me as well, because they're really encouraging the people that come to attend to not be they're encouraging the people who attend the festival to find that inner musician in themselves, and to free their voice, and to learn how to play an instrument at least a little bit. And so you build that fire so we can have more music. What's better in the world than more music?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. It just sounds amazing. I mean, the work that you've put into this to bring all this together, I can't imagine. I can't imagine anything better than what's coming up. And I know there's going to be food on site for the people that are coming. And I looked over that menu, and I'm extremely stoked, because there are going to be fried Oreos, folks. No, and then I saw Gator. So anything? Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's all one food vendor, and it's Pete and Peg's roadside barbecue, and a roadside grill, and I can't remember the barbecue aspect of their business, but Pete and Peg are really great people. Pete's a really awesome guy. He's really gung-ho about this, and he's going to be bringing in, it's one food vendor, but he's going to be bringing in 3 food trucks.
Oh, wow.
And each one of the food trucks is going to have a specialty. One of them is going to be all his barbecue and that type of thing. Another truck is going to be all of the hamburgers, hot dogs, sandwiches, wraps, that type of thing. And then there's one truck that is strictly going to be vegan and vegetarian.
Oh, wow. Now that's really amazing, because I know there are in the pagan circles, there are a lot of vegans and vegetarians. And to be able to offer them something that isn't, in their eyes contaminated by being in the same place with the other stuff, that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, he's really been great about catering to our needs, and kind of, listening to what we think would be a great item to sell. And he's really worked with us on that, and it's been really great. And the best part is, I don't think his prices are that bad at all. I think they're, a lot of times you go to a festival or a fair or whatever, and you kind of choke a little on the prices. His prices are extremely fair, and in fact, in some cases, quite inexpensive for the food that he's going to be offering. And I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, I got to have me some of that fried gator too.
Yeah. Well, and I did notice that when I looked, the prices are extremely reasonable. I mean, there's just so many reasons why that if you can get there, you really have to, because you're going to miss out on something that is just, it's going to be, we're making history, I think, at this event. Absolutely making history between everything that's going on, and all the things to do and the people to meet. I'm telling you, you got to get there if you can. And we will definitely have all the links to the pages and the sites and stuff like this going on my pages and all the PBNR pages. So you guys have no excuse not to be able to find out the information that David is sharing with us tonight. It's just amazing. So I've got a couple of other little things I was thinking about. I know, like I said, with the volunteers and the festival staff so big, what can we do as people that come there to make life, transition smooth and easier? Are there things that we can do to help just in our own little spots and world?
Well, yeah, it's important to realize that, of course, we all have to be the good little pagans out there, and our goal with the Cherokee Farms, and with the world in general, but with our own little world at Cherokee Farms, it's very important to me that we leave that property in a better condition than what we found it. So if you are the best thing that you can do to help us is help us make sure that we're not going to be there for another week after it's over cleaning up. So if you see something, either take care of it, pick it up, throw it, put it in the proper receptacle, or just let us know and we'll take care of it. There are going to be trash cans as well as recycling receptacles. Smokey is very adamant that we, and asking that we recycle.
Good.
He'll take care of the recycling for us as well as the trash, and then we're doing everything we can with the Green Album and with Caldera in general to be green. So we're trying to eliminate as much paper as possible and things like that. So just the important things are, if you see something and you can help us out, great. The other important things are that there are some areas on the property that are off limits. They belong to either Smokey or some of the people that live on the property with him, and those areas are off limits, and I do ask that you be respectful and stay away from those areas.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they'll be clearly marked, so that way everybody stays away from that. That's a good thing, because we don't want to infringe on the privacy of the people that are letting us use this wonderful property.
Right, and so that's important. And but yeah, other than that, we kind of have a free reign to kind of do whatever we want to do and have a good time. But
But keep it reasonable. Absolutely, act like adults. And I'm gonna bring this up too. I know with the things the way they are these days, I imagine that safety and security is probably a really top priority. And so what should we be aware of or look out for or make sure is not happening around us?
Well, the important things that we need to watch out for is we need to be keeping an eye out for our neighbor. There are people that come to festivals that tend to possibly enjoy themselves a little too much. And it's important that we watch out for our neighbor and make sure that they're not, taking things a little too far. And if they are, if the community, if their family can't take care of them, then let us know and we'll do what we need to do to help, keep them safe. You need to use common sense. It is an open, environment, and we're supposed to be, positive and safe people to be around, but you need to use common sense. Don't go wandering off into the woods with somebody you don't know.
Good.
Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing, just common sense, I suppose, is the main thing. And, take care of each other out there. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. I almost hesitate to mention it, but I think it's important that people coming know that people are going to be looking out for you, and there is going to be a sense of community. So, and if somebody's having a problem, let somebody know. And I know that it's going to be taken seriously at this event. And sometimes you can't always say that, but this event is really, like I said, going to be epic and history making in its entirety. So I am so excited to have this going on and to actually get to be there and be a part of it. I know that there is, for those that maybe they forget to bring something in off their camping list, I know that there's places fairly close by that they can go shop if they need to. And
yeah, the town of the beautiful downtown Lafayette is only about 8 or 10 minute drive from the site, and we are not restricting anybody from leaving the site if they choose to. Keep in mind that when they return to the site, they will have to go through the gate process again, but that's going to be fairly quick and easy. But beautiful downtown Lafayette doesn't have a whole lot in it because it's not that big of a town. But
right.
There is a Walmart, so we're all right there. And there's a couple of hardware stores and that type of thing. And there's some food if you don't really, if you want something else other than the food that we have on site. Those things are available. We do, we're not going to stop anybody, but for safety reasons, we do ask that to not leave the property unless you feel like you have to, simply for safety reasons. And but some festivals restrict you. Once you're in, and if you leave, you can't come back. Well, we decided not to do that.
Right, because there's always that, we forgot this and we really have to have it, or our battery died and we need, yeah. So it's good to know that there's something close by, but also for, as you're coming in, stop and load, get your cooler loaded or whatever before you come into the gate, and then it's all good to go.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. I cannot wait to get to meet some of these people and meet some of the vendors and put some faces to the names of people that I've known for years and haven't got to see, especially musicians, because you don't get to know them so much, like you said, with a fan, and to be able to actually get to meet them, and it's going to be an amazing process.
Oh yeah, it's going to be loads of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's as we get closer and closer to the day, I'm not necessarily panicking, but I am going through about 500 lists in my head of all the things that I need to get done still. And
absolutely, I was going to say it has the butterflies in the stomach have obviously set in with this countdown going on.
Honestly, I don't have time for that.
That's good. You'll panic after.
Yeah, I can panic after. I won't even have time during to panic.
Yeah.
I don't know if your listeners know this, but I started doing my podcast. It's called The Magic Jukebox, and I've been doing my podcast now for going on 6 years. And it's one thing for me to do my podcast. It's another thing to do a show kind of like this. I mean, I can see in the chat room what's going on, so I know I have people that are listening to me live. Those two things are, controllable. I really have no idea how I'm going to react to walking out on stage and making announcements and introducing bands and things like that. I have no idea how I'm going to react to that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but we'll figure it out. I should be able to, because I know that regardless, I may not know everybody out there, but I know I'm amongst friends.
Absolutely. And more like family, I think, by this point, because of, the way it's all coming together. And I think you're going to do fine. You'll do fine. I just hope you get a chance to actually take a breath and enjoy some of this wonderful thing that you're putting together.
Oh yeah, I just want to be able to go out and hang out in the audience with everybody and enjoy the music.
Absolutely. Well, Teresa in the chat room said you'll be great. Just talk to the audience like you're talking to us. And I have a feeling that it'll come natural to you. I bet you're going to find it's going to come a lot more natural than you expect.
Yeah, it probably will. Because I know it's just something that has to be done, and I'm the one that has to do it, so I'll just have to go do it.
And think about it after. That's great. So if there's anything that I forgot to mention, or anything that you want to tell people about coming to the festival, or what we should do from here, please, you have the floor.
Let's see. Okay, probably the most important thing that we haven't really covered is that Caldera Fest is a family-friendly event. Children are definitely welcome. But that means that there are a couple of things that we have to control. That means that the event is not clothing optional.
Good.
And that also means that, of course, no weapons or fireworks or anything like that allowed. But the most important thing is we are going to be very, or at least fairly strict on, absolutely no illegal substances allowed.
Right.
But we have to be really strict about alcohol consumption as well. So I'm not going to say that you can't bring it, because of course we're not selling it. And we know it's going to be there. We do ask that all glass bottles stay in your campsites, and giving alcohol to minors will not be tolerated, period.
Absolutely. That should go without saying, but it doesn't always, so, because common sense is...
I see Chirissa said that we need to keep the behavior G-rated. I'm thinking more like, there you go, Mark, PG-13.
PG-13, yeah. Because, no, I'm glad. And it's a good thing because, make sure that people are safe and paying attention to that kind of thing and to not have it clothing optional. That just makes it a lot more comfortable for a lot of people that may or may not be comfortable with some of those that are clothing optional places. I know that would probably make me a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't consider myself a prude, so but still, I don't know. So that's a wonderful thing, and I'm glad to hear that, and I think that will, everybody else will be too. Um, but overall, this is going to be, I know I've said this, epic. It's going to be epic, folks. The website to get to is www.paganmusicfestival.com, and it's got so much information there. It tells you suggested list of things to bring to camp with. There's pictures of the camping, the farms, the list of the schedule for the performers and the workshops and everything is on there. How to get your tickets, what you need to do. You really got to go check this out, folks. I'm going to be reminding you for the next couple of weeks because this is amazing. And I don't think we're going to, there's not going to be anything else like it until David does this again. So we have to make this one uber successful so we can do this at least every couple of years, hopefully every year. Not to put any pressure on you, David. Not to put any pressure. Not at all. But it's amazing, and I want to thank you so much for putting this together and all your hard work, for all us fans out here to bring these people together like this. We're very grateful, and a lot of us that are used to working behind the scenes at things understand just how much work goes into this, and we want this to be successful because we want more like it.
Yeah, we've been working on this project for going on 2 years now, and we've really put a lot of work and effort into it in 2 years' time. The frightening thing is, if we decide to continue doing this, we're going to have less than a year to pull another one off. But
you won't take a breath until sometime after the 30th of next month, I imagine.
Yeah, actually, I was talking with with one of my partners, and we were talking about it. Well, when should we start planning for the next year? And I said, I don't know. What do you think? June 1st?
Yeah, there you go. That will be it for sure. Well, if there's anything that we can do to help you be more successful, we are certainly going to do that because the pagan community needs something like this. And I know we talked about at the beginning that it is a community, and we'll make it more so. To bring all these people together in like real people way, because I know a lot of the places that you probably that have events, you almost kind of feel like you're watching it, but you're not really a part of it. And I think this is going to be different. I think you're really going to get that sense of community from the way this is looking to come together. So kudos to you, and we wish you the utmost success. And like I said, I will be there. And a few other people from PBNR, and some of the vendors that we already do know, and some of the other people. We're just so excited.
Well, me too.
So we just want to say thank you again for doing this for the community.
Well, you're welcome. I hope it comes out the way that we have planned. But I'm not the only person to be thanked. I've got a great crew who works with me, but most importantly, this wouldn't be an event at all without the musicians that are attending. So if you are a fan like I am of pagan music, please do whatever you can to help support these pagan musicians. Check them out online, find out where they're going to be playing. If they're going to be playing near you, definitely go and see them play. Buy their CDs, support them, let them know that you care and that you love the music that they're making, because without the musicians, there is no Caldera Fest.
Absolutely. Oh, I did have another question. I just forgot, just because you said it. Caldera Fest. What is Caldera? I'm sorry.
Caldera is the Spanish, it's kind of a Spanish word that the root means cauldron. The caldera is the rim of a volcano, and honestly, it just kind of came up when we were looking at kind of trying to find a name for another project I was considering working on, and I was just trying to find another word for cauldron.
Uh-huh.
And it came up, and of course, cauldron has just a little bit of influence or a little bit of meaning in the pagan community, but
Just a tad, yeah.
yeah, just a tad. You have to think about what are the things that go into the cauldron, and so if the festival itself is the cauldron, it's the musicians, it's the volunteers, it's the people that come and have a great time, and it's that sense of community that all gets mixed together to make a pretty interesting and tasty stew. You know what I mean?
Right. It makes the magic. I mean, this is where the magic's going to happen when you get that many people stirred up in a pot. So that's I love the name, and so I'm glad you shared that, just in case other people didn't know either. So
Yeah, it just kind of fell into place.
that's absolutely it's perfect. I think it's absolutely a perfect um, way to describe what's going on there, kind of like the big melting pot, but in our case, a
Yeah.
cauldron. Absolutely wonderful. All right.
We'll be in Georgia in May, so we won't have to worry too much about the heat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it will be a little bit warm. I'm thinking, but we're close isn't it the Mississippi border? Isn't it up that way? Or
No, it's right on the border of Tennessee.
Tennessee. I'm sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it's up in
blonde.
the hills a little bit, so
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that bad. I don't think the weather is going to be that bad. Farmer's Almanac said it's going to be mid 80s, mid to high 80s, and sunny and clear. So we're really hoping for that.
Right, and the evenings can cool off a little bit, but it cools off nicely. It's not like cold. But still bring a blanket just in case. Anyway, okay. Well, we've about talked for our hour almost. I didn't even take a break, and that's okay because they're not going to fire me. And I didn't want to interrupt the flow because this was a wonderful interview. I appreciate you taking time to come talk to us about the festival, and we're going to keep promoting it, and I'll be looking forward to meeting you and talking with you when we're there.
Well, I'm looking forward to meeting everybody, quite frankly, but
Yeah.
we're looking forward to meeting you as well.
All right, David. All right, folks. That's going to do it for the event spotlight with David Banach, and we are going to sign off now. But we're going to get these links up, and we'll get this up so if anybody missed it, they can hear it again. I think we pretty much covered everything that's going on at the event, and the website will cover the rest. So, get on it, folks. We got to do this. If you're a mother, you need to be telling your kids, this is what I want for Mother's Day. That's next week, right?
Yeah,
This is
it's
easy.
coming Sunday. Yeah.
It sure is coming up. So this would make a wonderful Mother's Day gift. I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, so David, thank you so much for joining us. And good night, everybody. This has been Onyx Moon, and we will talk to you soon.